Good evening. Hello. Hope you're all doing well. For some reason I've lost all audio to my PC. Let me know that you can hear me and you can hear the stream. I don't quite know what's going on, but I'll soldier on. I don't need sound. I know what these cars sound like. Welcome to a TOGA production for Formula GT Racing League's second race of the European Championships.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Real excited for this. Wow, everybody in already. So Lyric, Formula GT, yay! We can hear all of it. Excellent. Zeta, yep and nope. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Let me just pop this out. We are live on YouTube and we are also live on Twitch. I dare say, I think, I don't see him in the listings, but I believe there's a rumour, a vicious rumour, that Mr. Hayden Sweet might be making a little appearance tonight. I don't know. He was meant to be racing in a different race. I don't know what he's decided. So either way, let's have a look at what's happening tonight. Now, 20 minutes qualifying, which is just starting, so you can see them just warming the tyres up. Now remember, this is GT2. This is not GT3, it's not GT4, it is GT2. So, Imola. Beautiful, beautiful Imola. 24 degrees air temperature with a 31 degree track temperature. Now this will be interesting. This is going to be testing for the tyres, to say the very, very least. So it is. This is a very, very torturous track, full of tight, slow corners. You've got chicanes galore. You have fast sweeping corners. It has everything you could ever want. It has sausage curbs that really wants to catapult your car into space if you get it just ever so slightly wrong. So we'll focus on Kieran Macy. He's not Kevin tonight, he's Kieran. Kevin is his dad, as he pointed out to me last time. Flash of the headlights. There we go, he's obviously listening to the stream. Oh no, he's getting... Concentrating your racing, sir. So the 626 Audi GT2. What an absolute beautiful looking car. It's a shame we're not going to see the Audis in the GT series anymore. But, you know, things move on. So he's starting off his fast lap now. Let's see how he gets on now. Race control's already bugging out with loads of different things going on. So let me see if I can rectify this in some way, shape and form. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can. I only hope someone can come up with a much better thing in the future, hopefully for AC2 or ACC2 when it comes out. But yeah, so this has got, we've got 10 drivers who are all lining up in various different cars. We do have 5 Maseratis, 3 Audis, 1 KTM, a very brave Pocomandi there, and our very own Zita in the Lamborghini. Now she is in a different class altogether, quite literally tonight. She is in that Lamborghini, number 12 Lamborghini. So Kieran coming down to finish his first lap. Now let's have a little look and see. Oh, that might be a track limit, and that's exactly what I was talking about. That last chicane, if you get it even a millimetre wrong, it will absolutely send you all over the place, and not a very nice way either. Lyric, can you look at the KTM and if your livery is on it? Okay, give me a minute, I shall have a look for you, Lyric. Let's just see how Mr. Macy does as he goes over the line. A 143.6. Very nice, Kieran, very nice. Zita in her beautiful Lamborghini. Right, now I need to have a look because the... What car number are you? Let me have a look. 444, Pocomandi. There we go. How's that? Is that what you were expecting? Hopefully it was. And the M Motorsport Advantage Racing. Beautiful looking livery. Beautiful looking car. It's an amazing car to drive, but these GT2 cars, the only thing you could possibly say that differs in a huge amount of way is its out and out speed. For cornering, it doesn't have mechanical, or it doesn't, have aero grip, which means you literally are driving a road car that can go very, very fast in a straight line, which is a bit of an issue when it comes to the corners, and there's a lot of corners. Imola is a tricky track to try and get right when you're going full out on a GT3 car, never mind a GT2. So at the moment we've got Kieran Macy in P1. We have got Connie Aaron in the Audi in P2 at the moment. We've got our very own Zita in P3. And the fourth person is our Josh Collett in that beautiful blue Maserati. Those are the 4 valid laps that have been set so far. We have got Finlay O'Reilly, who is on a lap that is valid. Now the problem with invalid laps, apart from the fact that they're invalid and it's not going to count towards anything at all, it ruins your entire lap. So you need to get... Oh, that's very, very wide. Now unfortunately, commentator's curse, poor Finlay has been struck by it yet again. I'm going to focus on Connie, who is absolutely throwing that Audi round. They were up, and Bjorkman has actually taken the fastest lap with over a second of a difference. That is absolutely incredible. A 141.840, and look at the speed that these cars are generating as they get onto the start-finish straight. Heavy on the brakes, trying to pick your line, trying to get over as much curb as possible without hitting the sausage curbs. Beautifully done there from Connie, and sliding it in on the left-hander. Full power again. A little dab of the brakes, downshift, Again, trying to pick as much of the curb as you can. You don't want to go wide in that one, that's for sure. And then you're hard on the brakes for this left-hand hairpin. Out wide, there's a lot of different lines that drivers take for this. There isn't a correct one, it's whatever one is faster for you. But again, Connie is almost 1 second up on their lap already as they come round. Two left-handers which are slightly off camber and really do want to throw you. Hard on the brakes again. You want to downshift and you try and get as much curb as possible and straighten that chicane as you go up the hill. You want to carry as much speed as you can, and as you come up over the crest of the hill, pick your braking spot, hard on the brakes, and try and take the sausage curbs without them absolutely ruining your time. Connie, and I don't want to say this too early, but is certainly setting a really good fast pace. Mr. Bjorkman is 7/10 up on his fastest lap at the moment, a 1:41.1. He is 1.7 seconds ahead of Kieran Macy, and Kieran is not a slow driver in any way, shape and form. Luke Wilson straight into P2, knocking Kieran down to P3, and Connie over the line with a P5. That is outstanding times. So again, Robert Bjorkman with the Maserati going again, trying to see if they... Oh, getting things all kind of wide. And that is a problem. You are on the limit as you see Zita in the background just coming past the hairpin. Beautiful looking Maserati. Again, look how he's just trying to float that car round. You need to carry as much speed as you can through these. There's a yellow flag been shown, so I don't know if that was maybe Naheem that returned to the garage. Don't see any issues here at the moment. Bjorkman is 5/10 down. The only person really improving at the moment is Connie again, 5/10 up almost on their time, but it's not going to help them for 5th place at the moment. We still have Donkervolk and Pikiri still to set a valid lap for qualifying. Hopefully they'll be able to do that very soon. Still 10 minutes left. As I've said with the time, it's about a 1:41, 1:42 lap time for these GT2s. So there's still plenty of laps depending on how much fuel you have there. Kieran Macy trying to pick up but not doing it, and it looks like an invalid lap from him as well. O'Reilly is on a hot lap at the moment, 3/10 up. Now O'Reilly in 4th position. If he could get 3/10, he'd be very, very close to Kieran Macy. Look at that Maserati sliding all over the place. Bjorkman absolutely on the limit as he takes a little bit of curb, dab of the brakes, downshifting. Oh, you can see how much that unsettles the car, those curbs. It is a very fine line between being brave and losing a lap time. You can see the Maserati ahead. And again, Bjorkman getting very, very wide, kicking up the dust as they come up the hill. Losing a little bit of time now. Luke Wilson on the green and now losing time, but it was looking as if a faster lap was in his hands there. Zita is sitting in P8 with the Lamborghini again. She's still going round, still trying to get a little bit of time, finding out Pokemandi almost 5/10 up on his time. That is going to be exceptional if they can keep it going. Absolutely bring them into play for Naheem. And again, Bjorkman taking lots of sausage curb. That Maserati is able to handle it, but you don't want to unsettle it. You are just going to lose time, you're going to lose traction, you're going to lose everything else that is going on at the same time. Right, let's have a little look at the chat and see. Hayden's on entry list, said he should be here around 7. Okay. We know what Hayden's timing. In fact, there he is, the man himself, in P12. Comes in at the last. He's doing a last to first challenge tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's show some love for that. Is that Ronnie Pickering? It's Ronnie's daughter, Zita, her very own Zita Bartek. It's good to see in the chat. Good to see so many folk in the chat. Lots of love. P8 Bartek, yeah, absolutely. Hayden is in, Charlie. I appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you. He is indeed. He's in to show us exactly what he can do with his driving skills. I am absolutely bumping him up because I know that it's going to end badly in some way, shape and form, but you know, that if anyone watched our TikTok or the live stream last night is poor Zeta trying to commentate on our very poor driving, then that would tell you exactly and everything that you need to know. So, Bjorkman still holding it. Wilson back into the pits. Now, Wilson is maybe just trying to tweak some settings. Hey, Lindsay, how you doing? Good seeing a chat. Connie back to the pits as well. So, P2 and P4 in the pits. And you can see that Maserati just not even deciding to take the chicane at the end of the day, but absolutely got out of the way of Bjorkman. Pokemandi's still on the charge, and our very own Zeta on a charge as well. Can she improve with that Lamborghini? That Lamborghini must be an absolute handful for anyone to try and drive. Anyone that knows Zeta knows she is an engineering goddess. She is the Adrian Newey of Toga. I have said that, and that is now going to be her nickname anytime I speak to her or refer to her. But Bjorkman stopping on track, so is he going to go back and pit, try to change something? I mean, he's 3/10 ahead of Luke Wilson at the moment. It's not comfortable enough. You can see the car up on the jacks. That basically means he is into the setup of the car to try and do something, change something on it. Let's have a little look at Kieran. Can Kieran improve? He is 0.1 proven on his last lap time. Up to 2/10, so he's certainly trying to push that Audi as far and fast as he can. Now Hayden is out on the track, so hopefully he can set a valid lap and maybe push himself up from the bottom of the grid. It's a tough grid. I was hoping to see Samuel in tonight. I don't think Samuel's racing tonight, so we have a few Toga racers in here tonight, which is amazing to see. It's great to see two communities merging together to have a little bit of fun, because it is fun. There's, apart from bragging rights, you know, we're not. I mean, I know there's taking things to the limit, but I think that would have destroyed any opportunity that they've got at the moment of improving. But you can see the absolute the speed, like these cars just absolute flying. They just keep going. I would say they'd probably continue accelerating if you didn't have the chicane to deal with. Whereas other like GT3 cars or the GT4 cars will get to a certain speed and then they'll stall out, because that's basically as fast as they'll go. The GT2s, as I said earlier on, are just lethal weapons in a straight line. Kieran Macy slightly up on his time, not really improving. We've got Collett down in P11, who is improving quite a lot. Would possibly be close enough to take P10 from Donkervolk. So Josh on a push here. You can see how high that wing is on the Maserati. I mean, especially Imola, it's more of a bit of a fashion accessory. There's the aero downforce you get from that isn't much. You can see how flat it is. I think it's more of a cosmetic. But Josh able to improve, but still in P11 at the moment. Zeta P9, still fighting that Lamborghini, still trying to improve. So running score at the moment. Alex, how you doing? How's it going? Glad to hear everything's okay, my friend. P1, we've got Bjorkman. Now, oh dear. Josh just pushing the Maserati a little bit too much there to make any difference. Naheem is absolutely on a charge at the moment. Naheem is 7/10 up with that beautiful looking liveried Maserati. Onto the last section now, looking as if they're keeping it clean. Now 1.1 seconds improving. Let's see how they get on as they cross the start finish line. Almost 1.1. Pops them into P3. Look at that. Hard work, dedication does absolutely pay off. Kieran Macy, who was pushing as hard as he could and was in P1. Oh, wow. That was totally on the limit of the car, wanting to throw them off the track. Olav, absolutely, and again he stops, so maybe he's a return. He's 3 minutes left, so he could get an outlap and get going again. But can Mr. Wilson make any difference? He's 3/10 up, and you can see he's slowing down, so I'm assuming he's maybe got some traffic. If it was the other way around, I could see the two Maseratis maybe trying to, you know, get look a little bit of a toe there for the LP Racing. But yeah, it's maybe going to hinder the other Maserati that's behind. It looks like Bjorkman has come back out again. So Bjorkman, one warm-up lap and one very fast lap is what's left at the moment. Mr. Sweet, still a valid lap to be set. So I don't know, and I'm assuming Hayden's so busy he probably doesn't have time. He hasn't had time to practice in any way, shape and form. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. Let me know who you think may very well be a contender for P1 tonight. It's very, very close. I mean, there's 3/10s between Bjorkman and Wilson at the moment, and then there's a second of a gap between P2 and P3, and then it kind of grows from there, as you can see in the timing sheet at the moment. Luke Wilson, total dedication there, and he is on for a flyer. Luke Wilson could take this. Now, Bjorkman is obviously still out on a lap at the moment, but Luke Wilson is very, very close. If he can keep this going, he has the luxury of another lap if he's got enough fuel. He has got a Maserati ahead of him, but I think he's going to be fine for that. Mr. Luke Wilson has got 2 corners to go, and he could very well pop himself into P1. Does Bjorkman have an answer to this? We're going to find out. And it looks like Luke Wilson is going to take P1. P1, there we go. So Bjorkman has got 1/10 to find. Is he going to be able to do it? Let's have a look, shall we? Just about to start his flying lap. This will be the last lap that he can do, so let's follow on board and let's see if this is going to be a qualifying lap that he's pulling out of the bag. The very last lap. He needs to hit every apex, he needs to get his braking spot on, everything needs to be aligned. He seems to be a very, very consistent driver. I actually saw Naheem there, who was in the green but has lost quite a lot of time now. And Mr. Hayden Sweet's managed. Oh no, Bjorkman. Oh, that's heartbreaking. So it is. Let's have a little look back and see what happened. Gets the initial chicane absolutely fine. Power on and just goes so wide that it's an invalid lap. There's nothing he could do about it. Yeah, it was an RTG right there. So it was. Let's have a look. Pokemandi. Pokemandi's looking a little bit hot in the track. 1/10 up at the moment with that beautiful looking KTM. Now he needs a lot more time, but at least this is giving him a little bit of confidence at the end of the qualifying. And he pulls off from that. Have we got anyone who's actually going to set another one? We've got Arzita. I keep saying Arzita, as if she's a piece of property of Toga. I suppose she is. Charlie, Wilson and Bjorkman also have success time penalties for the race, 15 seconds and 10 seconds respectively. Oh no, Zita. Oh, it's okay, nobody was watching, we all closed our eyes. So we did. Oh dear, that was just a little bit all the way around. So I'll run you through the grid setup in a second. Now, Charlie, sorry, I lost audio halfway through your driver briefing. So Wilson and Bjorkman get a success penalty, and I'm assuming that's because the last race, the finishing positions. Lyric, at least the livery looks good and works. Lyric, it is what it is. You brake too late for a second last corner. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. Like, you know, you end up with pressure on yourself, and you know that everything needs to be spot on because you only have that one lap left. And if it isn't, if you even make a tiny mistake, that can creep into your mind, and before you know it, that your lap's gone. Kieran, that wasn't too bad. That was very good, considering the pace of drivers. P4, you should be quite happy with that. And also, Charlie's just informed me about the success penalties as well. That's going to play into it. So that will play into this race. Now, Imola is not the best track in the world to try and overtake. If you can get a good exit out of the last corner, you've got a huge long straight to try and get a toe advantage to then get past. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about with toe, basically, although these cars don't generate a huge amount of aero, any car, any vehicle, whether it's a road vehicle or an HGV, they create like a pocket of air, and if you can get close enough behind them, you actually can get more speed, which means, as you can see, they get so much closer, and then they're able to pull out and try and get past with that advantage. Now we've got 3 minutes before the start of the race, so Alex, and there's a penalties now, so I'm assuming that's the success penalties. Yep. 15 seconds for 420 and 10 seconds for car 6. So already this puts things into a little bit more of a competition in terms. Naheem, Macy, Aaron, O'Reilly, they'll all be looking at that. They'll all know exactly that those penalties were coming. It is what it is. You can get this with GT3, you can get it with British Touring Car, you can get it with so many different racings. Have I just made a word up there? Racings? Races. Championships. Categories. So let's say there's 2 races. You win the first race, you then get ballast added, or you get, maybe it's a reverse grid for the second race. These time penalties are doing the exact same thing, it's just it's not ballast, it's time penalties. It makes it a little bit more interesting, and it means that Wilson and Bjorkman knew this was coming and had to throw everything at the track that they could. Races. What's racings? I don't even know. Somebody send caffeine for me, please. Right. Let's have a look and see. It's a beautiful Maserati, isn't it? Right, okay. So Alex and Zita have absolutely thrown me to shame about the grid walk. Let's have a look at Helicam. At least we can kind of see what's going on. So in P1 for qualifying, we've got Mr. Luke Wilson in LP Racing. We then have Robert Bjorkman in LP Racing as well in P2, both with time penalties. We then have Olav Naheem, hopefully, in the Rabid Racing in P3. We've got Kieran Macy in P4 in the K4 Racing. We've then got Connie Aaron in P5. Finlay O'Reilly in P6 with Audi. Michael Pocamandi in P7 with the treble 4. We then have Kevin Piccheri. Let's not swap Kevin and Kieran around. Our very own Mr. Hayden Sweet for LP Racing as well. We have got Zita, who is in that beautiful pink and blue Lamborghini. We then have Stein Donkervolk in the Maserati in P11, and we have Josh Collett in the Maserati in P12. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Right, oh, hang on a second. F7 for drone cam. For what? From any camera? Or do I need to be in a particular... Press F7, then use arrows. See, but do you not need to be in a certain camera position for it? Finlay, 5 100s could have got you P4, but you just can't put a lap together. It's very difficult. I mean, unless you... I can't think of many GT4 races or championships that's going on. We've got this one. There's the LFM. You can use it anytime. So... yeah, I'll have a look at it later. It's quite clearly not working for me. I'm having issues with technology in the past few weeks. It does not surprise me at all. I have no audio, so I'm basically listening to silence and listening to my own voice, which, to be fair, yeah, you poor people, you know, sign up for this. I didn't sign up for it. But yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting. 45-minute race. Now, there is a pit stop. Charlie will correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is terrible. But there'll be a pit stop, and I don't know if it's, you can, I think there's a mandatory fuel, but it can be a splash and dash, which basically means 1 litre in, or it can be half of the race fuel, whatever strategy you're going for at that time. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick drink before my throat goes completely dry. But if you are enjoying this, you're on YouTube, smash... was 5 minutes last week. Oh, sorry, pit window is now 10 minutes. Okay, mandatory fuel was 5. Yeah, that's right, yeah. So 5 minutes was a little bit of a squeeze, especially in a longer circuit. But 10 minutes is absolutely fine. So it's mandatory fuel. That'll make it interesting. It will make it interesting. So they're just... though you'll see them lining up into formation very, very soon. Try and get some heat into the tyres. There's no tyre warmers. There's no luxuries the GT3 cars have that the GT2s don't have. I said that the wrong way around as well. But they basically don't have any facilities to heat the tyres up before they go out. They don't have the aero downforce that GT3s do. And they generally go around corners slower than the GT3s. So to master this car, it's no mean feat, I can absolutely assure you. Now all lining up, now all getting ready to go, and I'm going to take a quick drink. Here we go, lined up, all try and stay within the speed limits required. Now you do have a bit better of more of an advantage being on the outside of the track. You can see, because there is a kink in the start-finish line, and we're just waiting to see. You can just see the red. There you go, there's the red lights now, so you get a better view of it, and we're just waiting. It's such a long start-finish straight when you're doing the parade lap. And there we go, we are green. What a great start from Luke Wilson. Let's see where Bjorkman is, as he... yeah, it's been a good start from both of them, but you can see the grey Maserati on the inside. Oh, that was so close from the Audi there. Oh, a little bit maybe of paint transfer there, but oh, back into P3. And Kevin, I've done it again, Kieran Macy has been put back to P4. Oh, but that Maserati getting all kinds of sideways. Let's focus on this instead. They are side by side. Are they going to go? Is Kieran going for the switchback here? Kieran trying it, but not quite able to do that. Maserati powering ahead, and they've got the Audi behind. But you can see he is gaining, so he's got a good drive. He's shown himself in the mirrors. Maybe try and put the drive of the Maserati off a little bit as they come down, and again just showing himself enough to be an issue, and you can see it has worked to a certain degree as Olaf goes slightly wide through the chicane but gets a better drive, and that's pushed Kieran into O'Reilly's path now. KTM very, very close behind as well. Everybody seems to have got past the initial phase of the first lap. As you can see, the KTM of Pocamandi all over the place, trying to get past, deep onto the brakes as they come in. Oh, look how close that Audi of O'Reilly got there. Now, maybe better braking. I don't know what that was, but he absolutely made it. Unfortunately, not a good enough drive out the corner to make any difference. Here we have a bit of a Toga battle. Now, please don't crash each other out here. We have Zita on the right. We have Hayden on the left. Oh, no. What did I say? Oh, no. Oh, what are you two doing? Oh, my goodness. Oh, right. Okay, let's go back to the battle. I don't even want to look at a replay there. I don't want to look at a replay. There is just under 1/10, as you can see, these two are battling. Now, Bjorkman has a slight advantage in the fact he's got 5 seconds less of a penalty. These time penalties will be served at the pit stop. So that means... Whoa, look at the drift of Naheem as coming round that corner. Olav absolutely on it. But these two have created a bit of a gap for each other. Both look very, very similar in driving styles. Both taking very similar lines. There are different lines, like I said earlier, you can take for different corners. And none of them are wrong, none of them are right. But look, both Maseratis complaining badly about getting thrown and pushed over. Look at this drive. Bjorkman absolutely on it. If he could get past now... Wilson getting very, very defensive. That's going to ruin his line as he comes round. Bjorkman is absolutely on this for a great drive onto the start finish. Can he get up into the back bumper of that Maserati ahead? Let's have a little look. Not quite enough to get a tow, but certainly dropping off the P3 by 1 second. He is now starting to get a tow. This is going to be interesting. Coming down to the heavy braking for this first chicane. And again, Wilson having to go very defensive mid-track to try and resolve the fact that he has that other Maserati, Bjorkman, all over the back bumper. Again, as you can see, Wilson taking a slightly different line, a wider line, trying to straighten the chicane as much as he can as they come down to the sweeping left hand. Both heavily on the power. Now, Bjorkman is not taking as much of a chance this time. In qualifying, he was taking every part of that curb that he could. We're just having a look, and you can see Hayden and Zita are both back. Zita now in the pits with probably an extremely heavily damaged car. Unfortunately, they both ended up at the end of the start of the end, or the end of the start of the pit lane. So they had an entire lap to go to get back to the pits, which is unfortunate. Bjorkman not quite able to get as close this time, so Wilson taking advantage and trying to break the tow. He knows coming up to the start-finish line he is going to be looking in his mirrors, but if he can keep that gap at the moment, that's going to give him a little bit of breathing room just to try and eke away. Now, if Naheem comes into the mix, that really could end up with Bjorkman fighting and losing time rather than trying to chase down Wilson. He knows he only needs to keep 5 seconds depending on what the strategies are, but and as you can see, Kieran Macy is very, very close to Naheem. Here we go with Kieran Macy. Flames shooting out the back of the GT2 exhaust of the Audi as Kieran takes as much as he can without upsetting the car. A little bit of dust and a little bit of oversteer there as he tries to pull the car out of the sand and gravel. It hasn't lost him too much time. He's able to just look how he's on the limit of that curb as he comes down. He's not lost much time, so he's looking to try and get a great drive out of this corner. Try and get in under the wing of the Maserati. He is quite close. He's not... I can't see him doing anything here. He's not a driver that would send it. But this is where Olav's really been drifting the car. And you can see that Maserati rear tyres are absolutely lit up as they come round into the slower. And Maserati again, a little bit of oversteer on the power and under braking. So I don't know if the brake bias is very... I don't know if you can change the brake bias in GT2s. But here we go. Kieran showing himself again. Trying to fill that mirror for the Maserati, and again taking the chicane beautifully. The Maserati, as much as it looked like it was getting really upset on the curbs, it actually hasn't slowed it down very much. onto the heavy braking now. How patient. Oh, that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him side by side. Oh, and Kieran just didn't want to send it. The door was closed, but he is absolutely on this now. If he sticks to the back bumper under that wing of the Maserati, he could very well get this pass done. As it goes side by side, here we go. Kieran Macy on the inside, Olav Naheem on the outside, and Kieran makes it work. Looks like there's a little tap there, just as Naheem was turning in there. And the problem Naheem has is that he's trying to look forward, but he's now got a mirror full of Audi behind him as well. Mank, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks very much for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope to see you racing soon. Oh, very, very close on the braking there. So these cars all differ with the braking in terms of the balance of the car, in terms of how good the brakes are. But you can see that Audi of Macy just pulling away. Now this is where, again, Olav doing a little bit of Need for Speed as he's drifting the car round the corners. That's not going to be helping his tyres at all, and he may well find himself being challenged by O'Reilly, who's desperate to try and get that P4 position. Pokemandi with a 5-second penalty. Don't know if that's for a collision that's happened, but he will serve that again on the pit stop. Everything kind of settling down. We've got the 2 leaders ahead. 2 leaders? We've got the leader and P2. Sorry, I'm terrible with my words tonight. Who are battling in a way ahead. They're 3, almost 4 seconds ahead of this pack that's battling. And the more Macy has that Maserati annoying him, the more he's not actually gaining any time. And 10 seconds for Zita. So I don't know if that was with a collision with Hayden, but yeah, she has that 10-second penalty to deal with when she pits for the second time. That Maserati is looking really tasty under braking. Audi not so much, but the Audi seems to have the power on the corner exits. Again, look at the Maserati is so much wider than Audi when you see it in that position. Trying to get, and look at Olav just pushing that Maserati maybe a little bit too much. I can't imagine what his tyres are going to be like by the end of this race. And you can see this seems to be the advantage for the Audi, just able to pull away from the Maserati uphill. Let's see how Olav gets as they come round this. Not as much four-wheel drifting this time, so it looks better, looks tidier, and he's not far behind Kieran, keeping that pressure on at the moment. Now Kieran is now 4.7. It looks like a second a lap. These two ahead of us are, they're 1 second faster. Oh, Olav, what a save. That will probably be the save of his life. How he managed to keep that. And again, look, he has not actually lost much time with all of that. That's amazing. Absolutely superb driving from Naheem there. As Kieran again coming to finish his, what lap are we on now? 5th lap, so on to their 6th lap now. This is looking, look at this, we are so, into the heavy braking. These two need to get different liveries because I can't tell the two of them apart at the moment. We still have Mr. Wilson, Luke Wilson at the front, but Bjorkman is all over him like a rash. He's looking, you can see the twitch just to... It's the same as when someone flashes their lights just as you're going into a braking zone, trying to put you off, trying to put pressure on you, trying to see what happens. Now, I dare say these two have raced together or against each other plenty of times. They know each other and how they drive. Look at the distance they've got, 5.1 seconds to P3. Absolutely running away with us at the moment. A little bit too much curb there from Bjorkman as he's pushing as hard as he can. Wilson trying to keep things clean, trying to just hit his apexes, hit his braking markers and stay facing the correct way. We can see Pikiri has pitted. Now that is not a mandatory pit at the moment. The pit window is not open. You'll see in the middle of the window when the pit window opens. You'll probably hear it. I won't hear it. You'll hear it when the game announces that the pit window is open. There'll be a 10-minute window for the pits, but it looks like Piquet has maybe picked up some kind of damage that he's had to deal with before the pit window. Look how smooth these two are. I know I've said about them hitting the sausage curbs, but these two are knocking in qualifying laps every single time. 141.9, not far off what the qualifying times was. A drive-through for Naheem, that is for track limits. That has ruined his entire race. Kieran Macy will just be so delighted to see that come up. And O'Reilly will be promoted up into what will be P4. Now, the thing is, Naheem has got the drive-through. He's got 3 laps to get that done, and you can see that he's not come in to serve that penalty yet. Oh, thought Bjorkman was maybe going to end up on the gravel a little bit there. But, so Naheem has to serve that and also do the pit stop. The drive-through will not cancel the pit stop. He needs to stop and get fuel, whether it's 1 litre or 20 litres, whatever his strategy is. I almost feel like these two are driving in formation. That's how close they are, and their driving styles are so very similar as well. Neither of them, and I don't want to jinx them. Okay, I did just jinx them. Sorry, Luke, I jinxed you there. I was about to say neither of them have put a foot wrong, and then Luke Wilson unfortunately goes quite wide, and that is causing him a bit of issues. And I look at them taking so much curb. Like I said, these GT2 cars are pretty much road-going cars. They have a little bit of cosmetic aero, which isn't doing a huge amount, but the suspension is more to a road car, whereas a GT3, you couldn't take half of these sausage curbs the way they are at the moment, and it just shows you the difference in the cars. Zeta coming up to being passed with these two racing. And again, Bjorkman absolutely on point. These two are going to be side by side again, as it's a repeat of the last 4 or 5. And look at the Maserati of Bjorkman as it's sliding about. Naheem into the pits now to serve the drive-through. Naheem, that will be absolutely devastating. And again, I think Bjorkman's starting maybe a little bit of frustration coming into it. That is now 8 laps they have been in this position, and Bjorkman doesn't seem to have an answer to Luke Wilson as yet. Every lap you're driving, and you can see Zita there, she's obviously very, very well aware that she has 2 very fast Maseratis coming towards them. She will decide when it's safe for them to pass, i.e. not when you're in the middle of a corner. These two are, they're experienced racers. They're not going to do a dirty dive to try and push her off. This will be a perfect place for Zeta to move out of the way. And you can see Luke Wilson absolutely on the charge, trying to maybe, I don't know, I thought maybe Zeta was unfortunately going to become a bit of a pawn in the middle of this battle as they came into the chicane. But beautifully done by Zeta. She is a pro when it comes to racing and to what she is required to do. Charlie, they were racing together last night for the Driver Swap Cup and won the race together. They know each other pretty well. I'm not saying anything about the Driver Cup last night, thank you. It's been erased from my memory. I don't know what you're talking about, Charlie, but thank you. And again, where is the answer? What does Bjorkman have to do to get past and make this stick? Every single time these two are literally side by side going into T1, and then it's almost a procession, and you can see it's not harming Luke Wilson too much by going defensive, although this looks like it's a lot closer. Yes, Bjorkman is having a look, but again, not enough. There's just not enough straight track for him to make it count. Always seems to get alongside, and then that's it. These Maseratis are very, very, very limited to what you can do with setups. So these Maseratis are basically very similar cars with just maybe a couple of tweaks here and there. But they are absolutely, they're now 8 seconds ahead of P3 of Kieran Macy. And Naheem has come out behind Sweet for the drive-through that they've served. They will be that'll be them clear. They'll have another 3 warnings to get before they end up with another drive-through. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Bjorkman just trying to be. this is no way is derogatory, but Bjorkman really is that wasp that flies about your ear in the summertime when you're trying to relax or do something, and you just can't get rid of that wasp. It's there constantly. Now, can Bjorkman put a sting in this, like what I did there? Oh, both of them getting really, really squirrely there. Now, this is closer than it's been. I think Bjorkman could make this pass and get round him before the heavy braking. Look how close he is. He must be like a fingertip away. But again, just not enough. He pulls out into his clean air and it just stalls the car. He just cannot get the 2 kilometers an hour gap that he needs to get past. Going to quickly look back now. We've got Connie Aaron, who is putting loads of pressure on Pocamandi here, who has got that 5 second. Oh, that looked like he was maybe moving a little bit there on the KTM, and Connie had to back out of that, so there was no collision, which would obviously have looked bad as if it was their fault. But Pocamandi under heavy pressure now. Now we've got pit window open. Obviously I didn't hear it. We're 25 seconds in. I'm looking to see Mr. Hayden Sweet is into the pits. He's timed that beautifully. He's been coming along just before the pit straight, start finish straight, and it's obviously said he's popped in to get his out the way. Bjorkman about 7/10 behind now, so I don't know. He's fallen away slightly. You can see that gap that has formed. Now Luke Wilson will have been praying that happened on lap 1 and he could have got a bit of space. Now who's going to blink first? Who is going to blink into the pits first? If I was Bjorkman, I'm nowhere near his skill level, but I would go opposite. So, and Luke Wilson stays out. So, does anyone in the chat think that Bjorkman should maybe have pitted? He's now 7/10 behind on that lap. Maybe. I mean, who am I to suggest he doesn't know what he's doing? Kieran Macy into the pits from P3 to get that out of the way. We've got Josh Collett, who is also into the pits now from P10. These two continuing to battle. It looks like, oh, these two are, look at this, side by sides going into heavy braking. KTM taking that inside defensive line, and again, Connie just, I don't know if that car slightly oversteer going through, but didn't seem to have the confidence of getting the power on as quickly as the KTM does. Oh no, Hayden, you melt. What have you done? Hayden has been speeding in the pits. Mr. Josh Collett gets a drive through for track limits. Honestly, O'Reilly into the pits. We only, half of the grid, almost half the grid have now pitted. And some of them will be going back into the pits again very, very soon. Hayden's not having a great race, I think, it's fair to say. Let's go back here because there's 4/10. Bjorkman has found some time, and that you can see the nose of the Maserati diving down under the braking. Now who's blinking? Come on, who's going to blink? Who's going to blink? Neither of them. Staying out still. Even if Bjorkman gets past, he's going to have to pit. So if he gets past, he's not going to have an advantage of doing anything about it. Both side by side again, and I think Luke Wilson is actually taking that as a new racing line. He's had to take that racing line every single time, but they're so very close. Bjorkman again out. If that straight was maybe another 500 metres, would he have enough? But oh, Luke Wilson getting a little bit, I don't know, wide as he was coming through there. Looked like he had to back off slightly. Mank probably trying to match leader so he wins via the pens. Possibly. I mean, he just needs to stay within 5 seconds, which with these two racing is quite a long time. But yeah, he, as you say, he just needs to follow him at the end of the day. So we've got Hayden back into service stop, go 30. Josh Collett in for his drive-through. That's going to knock Hayden down. He might be fighting with Pikiri again. Pikiri still to pit. as well as the top 5 have still to pit. Naheem's done well. I mean, Naheem obviously had a drive-through to deal with. I mean, they will, Olav will fault. Oh my goodness, Bjorkman. That was a little bit more curved than what the Maserati was happy with there. You can see it diving all over the place. The suspension being put to the absolute limit, and you can see again heavy under braking. The car swirling around. 3/10 between these two. Is Luke Wilson coming in this lap? Nope, neither of them are. So they're catching up with another back marker of another Maserati. Pikiri, Naheem, Aaron, Bjorkman and Wilson still to pit. Mank, follow him in, gamble with traffic alone. Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt the fact that these two race in the same car together in championships, that these two cars will probably quite closely set together in terms of, oh, Bjorkman, oh, Bjorkman starting now, is his tyres now starting to go. These two have been fighting for quite a while. As we see Mr. Hayden Sweet. Oh, Josh Collett going really wide. Oh, there was near contact there, now side by side. And it looks like Collett has called it off. Collett's backed off, and Hayden comes up to P8. Needs to watch those track limits, he's very, very close. Bjorkman again. Oh, that is a mistake. That is a mistake. Bjorkman getting all kinds of sideways. I think his tyres have had enough, as two Maseratis pass another Maserati. I think Bjorkman's tyres are done. I don't know if Luke Wilson's maybe slightly less hard on his tyres. He's not had to push his car as much in terms of trying to move out, move back in and challenge. So Hayden almost 2 seconds behind Pocomande, who is in P7? Yes. I don't know if someone's had a disconnect. No, I don't think they have. Race control just went crazy there. These two again. They've got 3.5 minutes. Surely the end of this lap, they'll be coming in. Mank, same setup maybe. Yeah, absolutely. And it is a limited setup that you can have with these cars. So Pikiri's still not pitted either. So Pikiri hanging out there just now. I don't know if that's Pikiri that they've just passed. Driver skill only, absolutely, Mank. And it looks like the two of these are very, very closely matched for skills. Good cars, it's the only GT2 you tried in races though. I drove all of the GT2s purely just to try and to do a video about comparison and things like that. And the only ones I would say there's no way I would ever choose willingly were the Porsches. Macy has... it's Naheem. Sorry, I just saw Macy suddenly going past Naheem. Naheem's into the pits. Let me go back here at the moment. Now these two definitely, surely they're going to pit this time. Hayden right on the back end again of that KTM. He's pushing that Maserati to try and get past. He might have a chance this time. Just doesn't look as if he can get enough of a toe advantage from the KTM. KTM's just got enough. Is Hayden just gonna... Oh, that's a cheeky move. Oh! It's done enough to put... These are still side by side. It was going to be enough to put Pocomande off, but they're still side by side, and Hayden concedes and pulls back in. Was that a send? Does anyone in chat think that was a send and a half? A prayer? Looks like both into the pits. Wilson and Bjorkman into the pits at the same time, exactly as Mank called it. Hayden again, just showing himself into the mirrors of the KTM, trying to put Pocomande off. I don't know what's going on with ACC, because it's showing Naheem is ahead of Hayden? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, somebody's had a disconnect. Oh, Hayden again, flashing at Maserati all over the mirrors. And again, Pokemon going a little bit wide. Maybe just looking at Hayden as he's going through the chicanes. Yeah, we've had a disconnect. I don't know if it's maybe Naheem that's had a disconnect, because Naheem's showing as P7, which clearly is not the case at the moment. Macy is in the lead. Now, I think Macy has basically come past just as these two... Oh my goodness! Luke Wilson on cold tyres, absolutely wringing the neck of that Maserati. As I said, these cars do not have tyre warmers, so the tyres that go on them need to be het up. They need to be almost nurtured into heat, and that Luke Wilson is not nurturing his tyres. He is throwing everything at these tyres, and you can see there's actually a 1.5 second gap. Luke Wilson all over the back of Kieran Macy. Kieran just trying to keep things. You can see the fact that Luke Wilson is all over the place. Kieran, I think, has what, 3 laps into these tyres, but as much as we love Kieran, I think he's maybe a sitting duck at the moment. He's not on. The only thing that could play into the hands of Kieran here, if he can stay ahead of the Audi, stay ahead of the Maserati, is if that pushes Wilson back towards Bjorkman. Now you can see the Audi has absolute torque as it's going down the start-finish straight, and the Maserati has no answer to it. The Audi is absolutely on point. It's when it comes to the brakes, it comes to actually taking the chicanes and the corners, that's where the Maserati seems to shine. And you can see closing right up again, but it is pushing Wilson back towards Bjorkman. Now only 1.3 seconds between Bjorkman and Wilson. Oh, Macy getting a little bit squirrely as it comes out. Having to go very, very defensive. Is the switch back on for Wilson? Nope, but he is right there. He is filling that entire mirror with Maserati, looking to try and put Kieran off. Maybe try and look for an advantage to get past. Again, so very close. Wilson's tyres obviously have now hit up. He's now in that groove. Not going to do anything to send it into a corner like that. But oh, look how close they are. Oh my goodness. There couldn't have been more than a fingernail's width between the two. Wilson knows he needs to get past. He needs to go. The gap he had to Bjorkman is now almost gone. If he doesn't... Oh, and he goes wide as he's trying to show himself in the mirrors. Looking for as if he can get into that braking zone. If they can't get in the corner here, this is where the Audi's going to drive away from them. Look at Bjorkman. Bjorkman is driving that car to try and get onto the back bumper. This could be an absolute steal if Bjorkman can get behind Wilson. It would then give Macy a little bit of breathing room. And you can see the Maserati has no answer to the power of the Audi. Absolutely nothing. Kieran going a little bit wide onto the grass there. Heavy braking again, and it is now Bjorkman who is here to steal as many places as he can. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He is a good driver. It's not that he couldn't take the places. But if these two are battling and something happens, Bjorkman could get promoted. Oh, Wilson getting all kinds of deep into the chicane. That is not what he wants. He's now got Bjorkman there again. He's spent the entire first half of this race with Bjorkman stuck to the bumper. If Bjorkman and Wilson start fighting, Macy could have enough to get away from them. But these two Maserati drivers have shown that they are absolutely... I just paused there because I'm like, no, he's not sending it, is he? Again, look. Kieran going so defensive. He's now got 2 Maseratis, one on each side of his car. Desperate to get past, but Bjorkman is sensing that he could steal this. Bjorkman could absolutely steal this. Now don't forget, Bjorkman had a 5 second... Oh, look at this. Look at this. Tentatively, Luke Wilson looking as if he's trying. He's literally pushing that Audi round the track at the moment. I don't know what's going through Kieran Macy's mind, but I would hate to be in that Audi at the moment. I absolutely tell you. You're right, Mank could do Macy a favour. Charlie, it's off the charts. Oh, and he's tentatively again. Oh, Wilson doesn't want this. Wilson does get past. Macy's well off the track, but look at Bjorkman has got past. Bjorkman absolutely takes what I thought was going to happen. These two battled, and Bjorkman went, thank you very much, I'll just take P1 from you, and game over. 12 minutes these two have. Look at them. It's as if they're almost warming their tyres up. They're moving from left to right. Wilson, I don't think, will be very happy. He's obviously managed to neutralise the 5-second difference in penalties that he had to Bjorkman. But he's now in that case, and I don't think Macy's going to have an answer to them, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just think these two they're just on fire. So they are. We do have Naheem, who was on the back of Pocomande, and he's now got O'Reilly there. Is that O'Reilly? No, it's not O'Reilly. Okay, race control has absolutely broken. So we've got Hayden Sweet, Hayden Sweet has now got past Naheem. Hayden Sweet on the back of that KTM again to try and gain another position. And Hayden, oh, that is going to be a track limit cut, surely. Absolutely on point. There's battles all over the place. Oh, did O'Reilly blow his engine? Oh my goodness, you don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm not a mechanic, but I know you shouldn't blow an engine. That's not good. EBT, what a fight. Good to see you in Twitch. Thank you very much. Appreciate yous. If you're watching on YouTube, please smash that like button. Not for me, but for this battle. These two drivers absolutely deserve every like you can give them. I don't know about you, but I am exhausted, and this is a 45-minute race. Could you imagine if this was an endurance race and these two are going at it hammer and tong every single lap? Oh, I couldn't even imagine. I would say at the moment Bjorkman is quite a cool, calm, collected driver at the moment. He knows Luke Wilson needs to be the one to fight. But he is having to go defensive, and look at this. Luke Wilson. Heavy braking these two. Are they going to take as much curb as they can? Yes, they are. Doesn't affect either of them too much. But Bjorkman knows Wilson. It's all the pressure on Wilson to try and get past him now. All he needs to do is make that Maserati as wide as he can and as fast as he can. That's the only two things he needs to deal with now. Hayden Sweet promoted up to P7. Great race from Hayden, considering the issues he's had. And we see O'Reilly has returned to garage with that blown engine. So, yeah, it looks like the Audi just couldn't cope with whatever O'Reilly was throwing at them. But look at the gap. A 5/10 of a gap between these two. Has Wilson had enough? Surely Wilson's not just settling for P2. Certainly at the moment it's looking very like that. Pocomande is the... I hate to coin Formula 1 phrases, but he really is the cork in this bottle at the moment. He now has got Naheem and he's got Hayden behind him. Now the KTM... Whoa! Olav getting all kinds of sideways there. Now that KTM obviously has got power behind it. We can see the Maserati isn't the quickest car. But oh! That touch of grass there from Olav. He is absolutely just sending this Maserati into all kinds of positions it doesn't want to be in. He's clipping grass everywhere. He's getting drive-through penalties for track limits. But I tell you something. He is a bloody fast driver. Look, he's now passed. He has managed to get past that KTM. He now just hopes that Hayden gets on the back of the KTM and Pokemandi ends up having to look backwards rather than forwards. Luke Wilson now 1.1 seconds behind. I wonder if Luke Wilson has decided enough is enough. There's no point in putting both cars and drivers at risk. He's just holding position. So this battle has a huge track limit warning for Olav. I would assume. You can see Pokemandi is coming back at him again though, and what a great drive out there from Pokemandi in the KTM as he gets up onto the back bumper of the Maserati. Hayden Sweet, just the observer at the moment, just waiting to see what happens between these two. If they make a mistake, he has gobbled up 2 positions without even having to break a sweat. Pokemandi, yeah, I mean, I understand the technique behind that, but I just don't know if that was effective. All you're doing is moving your car, which is then causing it to slow down, which is causing it to travel longer distance than the car in front of you and behind you. And you can see that Hayden Sweet getting ever so close to the back bumper of the KTM. KTM doesn't have an answer to the Maserati speed, but again, these cars are not providing as much aero wash as GT3s and GT4s do. Hayden going very wide. Oh, Hayden, you melt. I think we should have a counter on the streams from now on with how many times I call Hayden a melt on the stream. Heavy braking for the KTM. He's really not giving up, and Naheem is not getting away from this KTM. In fact, if anything, he's fallen into the clasp of Pokemandi at the moment. So close. Olav, he's keeping it clean on this lap. That seems to be his favourite That seems to be his favourite part of the track, to go wide for track limits. But that corner, that chicane, it's horrendous for track limits as well. So it is so easy to get yourself 3 track limit warnings. And again, KTM and Maserati again going very wide there from Pokemandi. That won't be a track limit cut, I would imagine. I think that will just be a waggy finger from the ACC. Hayden's fallen back, and obviously he lost a bit of time. But oh no, it's a mistake by Naheem. They are now side by side, and the KTM. They're not even past the Maserati. Has Naheem saved this from what was a disaster into the last corner? These two taking wildly different lines, and it just looks like Pokemandi may have this, taking the defensive line, and oh my goodness, Naheem, if he didn't move out the way, that was going to be a 2-car crash. Naheem all over the back and side by side again. Naheem trying to take back that position that was taken from him. Still side by side, these two. You cannot go into these corners side by side. It is just not possible. Although they've proven it. Ooh, Pokemandi. The battle that ensues, which is just playing into Hayden Sweet's hands, because Hayden he's catching him again, because these two are fighting tooth and nail. And they are fighting for P5 at the moment. We have 11 out of 12 cars finishing this race. There's now a 2-second gap between Luke and Robert Bjorkman. Side by side again, KTM, Pokemandi. This is my position. You can't. No, you can't. You can't. No, you can't. See, that's what happens when you try to go too wide into a chicane. It just doesn't work. Neither of them given position. Hayden Sweet comes along, goes, do you know what? I'll just take that position from you. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, no, that position. Oh, there's contact. Okay, I think count number 3. Hayden, you melt. Yeah, to be fair to Hayden, the car was wildly out of control when he came into the braking, and he just couldn't get it stopped in time. You become a passenger when your brakes lock up, your tyres don't rotate, and you unfortunately slide. I have done it so many times. I have given us penalties in the driver swap cup, so I'm not in any way, shape and form saying Hayden is worse than I am. He's maybe the same. Don't tell him I said that. So it's all calming down. We've got three... Oh! Very big tank slapper there from Pokemandes. He's piling the pressure on that KTM to try and catch up with the Maserati ahead. 2.2 seconds now between Luke Wilson and Robert Bjorkman, with Kieran Macy just sitting in P3 on a race of their own. 33 seconds ahead of Connie Aaron in P4. And our very own Zita is in P10 with that Lamborghini as that KTM goes very wide and doesn't... Oh, that's going to be very close to a track limit cut. These drivers all must be, with the exception of maybe the top three, must have at least one or two track limit warnings. I'm just trying to see. So Bjorkman and Wilson, Bjorkman's time in the pits, 1 minute and 1:03. Yeah, so 1 minute and 3 seconds. Luke Wilson, 1 minute and 2 seconds. So that was the difference. I don't know where he gained the other 4 seconds from, because Luke Wilson had the extra 5 seconds. Mank, yeah, unlucky to spin instead of just colliding. Yeah, unfortunately there's nothing Hayden could do. He literally couldn't do anything about what was happening to him. It's a horrible position to be in, because you're literally watching a car you know you're going to collide with. Grass is evil in Sims. It is grass is ice, as far as I'm concerned. As soon as you go on it, that's it. Game over. Finlay, yeah, you blew the engine and killed yourself when you came back out. Oh man. What was the repair time for a blown engine?
Leaders on final lap now.
I would suspect this is the last lap. I can't hear anything, so you are going to have to tell me what the game's telling you. But I hope you have absolutely loved this race tonight. This is the second race in the Formula GT Racing League Community Championship for the GT2 European Cup. They are running another 4 after this. Charlie will correct me if I'm wrong. There's another 4 races after this, all obviously European based tracks, but the first race was as hotly contested as this one was. If you're not already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button on YouTube, click that follow button on Twitch. If you're over on TikTok listening to Hayden, then please do whatever you do on TikTok. Oh, there's 3 more races, sorry. 3 more races. And make sure you've got notifications on, because we will be here for the next 3 Mondays commentating on what I can only describe as throat-hurting racing, because I haven't stopped for 45 minutes purely because these two have been battling. But Mr. Bjorkman, who basically shows consistency as king when it comes to sim racing, as he shows. So his Maserati doesn't want to do another lap, so waits for the P1 and P2 to come past as he's coming over the line. There's a checkered flag as Robert Bjorkman takes P1 with Mr. Luke Wilson in P2. Kieran Macy will be coming over with P3. There we go. Well done to Kieran. Great battle, great drive. We then have Connie, who is in that beautiful yellow and black, goes so well together for a car for liveries, I think. Hungaroring, Misano and Red Bull Ring, those are going to be immense battles. Oh no, Pokemandi's got a drive-through on the last lap. Oh no, that's going to change to a 30-second penalty, because he obviously won't be able to serve the drive-through. So Pokemandi, who... that's going to promote Hayden... promotes Naheem to P5. But I don't think it's going to... And there we go, flash of the lights from Connie as they come over the line. I don't think the drive-through would promote Hayden That's just unlucky that Hayden was a little bit further back. Yeah, 32nd for Pokemandi. That must be absolutely soul-destroying getting that in the last lap. But huge congratulations for both Robert Bjorkman and Luke Wilson, and Kieran as well. Absolutely immense racing. We have put the link, the Discord link, in the YouTube description for Formula GT Racing League. If you do love what you've seen and you'd like to join them, then the link is there. Please go and jump into their Discord. They're ran by Charlie, who's in the chat, and Charlie's a great guy. I wouldn't say that to his face or tell him any other way, but Hayden, you melt. Like, I don't even know what to say to you just now. You need to go and have a good look in the mirror. To be fair, most of what happened to you rather than you happened, so yeah, unlucky. But I mean, do you know, P7, that's still a damn good position to end in. So yeah, sorry, Charlie is the owner of Formula GT Racing League, and they're a great bunch of guys. Zeta, sorry Zeta. Yeah, go and follow them. And this is the type of racing that they do. This is a close battles they do. Charlie is a steward, senior steward, I think, if I use his title correctly, with Toga. And what we're doing is promoting his channel, his community, because they're a great bunch of guys. Oh, it's Hayden. What are you going with Zeta then? What's going on with Zeta? I thought you literally meant you were Zeta and not Hayden. Anyway. Yes, so please smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, because these drivers all deserve to have a like, because they fought valiantly for 45 minutes. And yeah, we will be back. When will we be back? Let me think. Friday night, Toga will be back. We'll be back with round 1 of the GT3 World Championship. I'm just going to bring up the details of it, because I am commentating on it, but I don't actually know. So it's going to be a 7:30 British summertime start. The very first race is at Spa, and it's a night race at Spa. Wowzer, what a way to start. So we've got 5 races in the entire championship. We've got Spa night race, round 1. We've got Brands Hatch, round 2. Wonder why Hayden maybe picked that one. Paul Ricard, round 3. Round 4 is Nürburgring. Or it's Nurbs. I'm assuming that's Nürburgring. Yeah, it is Nürburgring. And the final round is Indianapolis. That's a great travel round the world. So it is. It's an 80-minute race, and there's 2 mandatory stops for fuel and tyres, but there's no pit window, and there's 6 tyre sets, so there's a limited amount. There will be a custom bop running on it as well. The practice starts at 6:30 on Friday night. I'll be live from 7:30 for qualifying, and then the race starts at 8 PM British summertime for 80 minutes. Live stewarding, live commentary. Look forward to it. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched and who's been commenting and sending love. Lyric, appreciate that. Thank you. Charlie, you take care of yourself. It's been a pleasure. And I will speak to you on Friday night. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.